Generally it is called as material cost, but I will be calling it as material cost control, because the objective of this chapter is to control material cost, because for a manufacturing company material cost plays a very crucial role. So control of that cost is very, very important. So for that, what we will do, we will use certain techniques. In order to control cost, we will use certain techniques. Altogether, we have 5 techniques. First 2 techniques are very, very important. If we complete first 2 techniques, 90% of chapter is completed. Okay. First technique is EOQ, also called as economic order quantity. Economic means you should economize your expenditure. Economic means here. Now don't say economic means money. Okay, we all know that economics means money. Here economic or see, when we travel, we have different classes, right? Economy class, business class, and some luxury class. Economy class means higher side or lower side? Lower side. Economizing cost means spending more or spending less? Spending less. In order to produce goods, we need raw material. Now the question in front of the company is that in what quantity we have to purchase this raw material? That's a big question mark. To produce goods, we need raw material. Now in what quantity I need raw material? For example, you are constructing a 5-floor building. You need around 30 lakh bricks. You need around 30 lakh bricks. It will be foolishness to order all the bricks at a time. Because again, to store those bricks, you have to take a land as rent. That means along with purchase of bricks, you are incurring some more cost. And it will be foolishness to order 100 bricks at a time. That means every hour you have to order 100 bricks. So you can't order 30 lakh bricks at a time, or you can't order bricks in 100 lot. Then in what lot? In what size I have to order the bricks? That we will learn in this technique. And we should place order in such a manner, or we should place order for that quantity where we are able to minimize our additional cost. Sir, what do you mean by additional cost? Cost other than raw material cost is called as additional cost. When we purchase raw material, along with raw material, we will incur some more cost. You people already know one particular element about it, that is carriage inwards. That is not raw material cost, that is cost in addition to raw material. That also plays a very, because you can't ignore it, you have to add it. If your carriage inwards is high, automatically your direct material cost will be high. When direct material cost is high, total cost will also be high. So the objective of this technique is to make sure that the additional cost other than raw material cost is minimum. You can't avoid it, but we have to make sure that it is minimum. In this way, we have 4 more techniques where the objective differs from one technique to another technique. EOQ object is different. Next technique object is different. Ultimately, we will use all these techniques to minimize the material cost. Control material cost now. Okay. So for that we will use certain techniques. First technique is called as economic order quantity. With the help of this technique, what we are going to find? So under EOQ, we are going to learn in what quantity raw material is to be purchased so as to minimize additional cost. Sir, what do you mean by additional cost, sir? Additional cost means two things. It is summation of ordering cost and carrying cost. It is summation of ordering cost and carrying cost. Okay. Sir, what do you mean by ordering cost, sir? That is cost incurred for at the time of procurement of material. And carrying cost means that is cost incurred for maintaining material. So technically speaking, this happens before purchase and this is after purchase. Examples for ordering cost. What are the examples for ordering cost? Cost of placing an order. Generally, this order will be placed by whom? Okay, once I have explained this, Nana, I will just show you a flow chart given in our CA material. Okay, there you will understand the process mapping, how the work starts, who orders the material, who receives the material, what are the documents that flow from one department to another department. See, doing problems is not at all a big issue because as of now, whatever the calculation part that you are doing is done by system itself. You should know the system first, the process. Okay, so cost of placing an order, there's an example. Next, cost of transportation, that is carriage inwards. Okay, that is nothing but carriage inwards. Carriage inwards incurs at the time of purchase or before purchase. Okay, ordering cost means whatever the cost that is incurred at the time of purchase is called as ordering cost. Carrying cost means whatever the cost that is incurred for maintaining the material. For maintaining the material, whatever the cost that you are incurred is called as carrying cost. No. Next example, cost of inspection of goods. All these are examples of ordering cost. Am I clear? Now coming back to carrying cost. When it comes to carrying cost, only we have four costs. Now, first one is, see, carrying cost means cost incurred for maintaining material, right? So the first cost that comes to my mind is storage cost or warehouse cost. Storage cost. Next, when you store material, you want to cover yourself against a certain risk like fire accident or theft. Against that, you will take some insurance. That also comes under carrying cost. Okay. The third one is cost of obsolescence. SCENC or deterioration. When you store material, definitely there may be some spoilage or damage. That also you need to bear it. Okay, cost of obsolescence. And the fourth one, last one is interest. Fourth and last one is interest. Nothing but cost of capital. When you purchase material, you have purchased material for 1 crore. You have borrowed amount from the bank. Now the material is lying in the godown for 3 months. That means for 3 months you will be bearing interest. Okay. So these are the 2 costs that you will incur apart from raw material purchase cost. Now, if you see the examples, nowhere I have mentioned raw material purchase. These are the costs that you will incur along with raw material purchase cost. Okay. Now, objective of EOQ is to make sure that these 2 costs are minimum, or summation of these 2 costs is minimum. Am I clear, Nana? Summation of these 2 costs should be minimum. So where the additional cost is minimum, the company would like to order only in that quantity. In fact, we will use this technique in day-to-day life without knowingly. We are using this technique in our day-to-day life, but we don't know that the technique is called as EOQ. See, every month I need to buy groceries for my house. Now, nearby my house, there are 2 DMarts. One is located on the east and the one is located on the west. Now, in whatever the DMart may be, they are following centralized pricing, right? So prices will be same. But one DMart is walkable distance, other DMart is around 5 kilometers from my home. One DMart is walkable distance, around 600 or 900 meters it is away from my home. And the DMart is 5 kilometers from my home. Now, I'm not worried about the price of the good because I know that prices of goods are same in both the DMarts. But apart from that, what is the cost that I'm going to incur? Transportation cost. I'm going to incur transportation cost. One DMart is nearby home, it's a walkable distance, so I will not incur any kind of transportation cost. And the DMart is 5 kilometers away, so I have to take an auto or something, so I will incur around 150 rupees or 100 rupees for that. So which DMart I should go? The DMart which is nearby or DMart which is 5 kilometers away? DMart which is, because my objective is to minimize additional cost. What about raw material cost, sir? You can't change. Raw material cost is same in both the places. So when the raw material cost is same in both the places, you will not take that into decision making, Nana. The only cost which changes, you will take those costs for decision making. So before going any further, this is the first technique where you are going to learn what quantity of raw material is to be purchased so as to minimize additional cost. Okay, that is the objective of EOQ. That is the first technique. Now, when it comes to second technique is stock levels. This technique helps in knowing the maximum stock of raw material. This technique helps in knowing few things. A, maximum stock of raw material, minimum stock of raw material, reorder level of raw material, maximum level, minimum level, reorder level. Apart from this, we have few more things, but these are the three important things that we need. EOQ helps us in knowing how much quantity we have to order. Now, companies should know what is the maximum quantity of raw material I have to maintain and what should be the minimum quantity of raw material I have to maintain. My stock of raw material should not be more than maximum quantity, should not be less than minimum quantity. And at what level I have to place an order, that also I should know. In first technique, I came to know how much quantity to order. But in second technique, I will know at what quantity I have to place an order. This plays a very important role in real life. I mean to say practically. Every company wants to know these three things. Because companies will be using n number of items, different types of items. For each item, they want these three things: maximum level of stock, minimum level of stock, and reorder level of stock, reorder level of raw material. What is the maximum quantity that we should maintain? If we maintain more than that, the storage cost, all other costs will increase. If we maintain less than minimum cost, number of orders will increase. That means ordering cost will increase. Am I clear? And if you don't know the reorder level, by the time you place an order and receive the material, you may be out of stock. If you don't know the reorder level, by the time you place an order and receive the material, you may be out of stock. When you are out of stock, automatic production will stop. You will incur huge amount of expenditure. Because when the production stops, there are some expenditures that you keep on incurring, fixed cost. But on the other hand, you are not getting any type of revenue. No revenue, but incurring cost. That means you will suffer from losses. So these three things you will learn in stock level. These two are the important one. Okay. Now third technique that we use is inventory turnover ratio. Inventory turnover ratio. Now it helps, this technique helps in knowing the frequency or speed at which raw material is consumed. The speed at which raw material is consumed. For example, a company has three different types of raw materials: A, B, C. Raw material A is consumed once in 15 days. Raw material B is consumed once in 30 days or once in 60 days. Raw material C is consumed once in 90 days. Raw material A is consumed once in 15 days. That means for every 15 days we are going to consume raw material. Raw material B is consumed once in 60 days. Raw material C is consumed once in 90 days. Now when the company purchases raw material, it should focus more on A, B or C. Amma? Yeah, I hope you got my point. Raw material A, raw material B, raw material C. Consumption is once in 15 days. This is once in 60 days and this is once in 90 days. That means from the time the raw material has purchased, for every 15 days you will consume the raw material A. When it comes to raw material B, for every 60 days you will consume the raw material B. That means for raw material C, for every 90 days you will consume the raw material C. Out of these three types of raw material, which one is fast moving, which one is slow moving? Which one is quickly consumed, which one is slowly consumed? Raw material A is quickly consumed, but a fast moving. Raw material C is slowly consumed. Okay, so next time when the company purchases raw material, it should purchase more quantity of A and less quantity of B or C. B and C. Okay, to know that this ratio or formula will be used. When company has different types of raw material, it wants to know which raw material is used frequently and which raw material is used less frequently. Because when next time when the company goes for purchase, it will focus on that raw material which is used frequently. Now, if you have one or two materials, you can see physically, Nana. But when the company has 100 materials or 150, 143 materials, then they have to use this formula and they have to prepare this. They have to prepare a statement. With the help of which they will come to know which one is fast moving, which one is slow moving. Okay. Next, Nana, fourth one. Fourth technique is stores ledger. Stores ledger. Nothing but pricing, issue, method, which is also called as stores ledger. We all know what is stores ledger. Stores ledger is maintained by stores department. Now, stores department generally maintains received quantity and issued quantity. That's it, Nana. But basing on that information, costing department has to define the values also. Stores department will only maintain quantity data, but not the value. Who has to maintain the value? Cost accounting department. So basing on that information, cost accounting department maintains the value. So in stores ledger, what we will see is that which method is being followed for issue of material. Generally, here three methods are prescribed, Nana. One is FIFO, second one is LIFO, third one is weighted average. Weighted average. Completely procedural, very easy to do, Nana. Okay, in the last examination, instead of asking a question separately on material cost, he has clubbed this with some other chapter. Okay, he has asking us to he asked us to prepare stores ledger and club this content with some other chapter. Which chapter it is? Okay, so these are the four different methods, Nana, with the help of which we'll prepare stores ledger. And the last one is ABC, analysis, not costing. ABC, analysis. Now, some people call it as always better control, but ABC analysis means here goods will be categorized into three: A category, B category, C category. A category being the most important, C category being the least important. Okay, so this classification is very, very important. This classification, see all these, all these methods are extensively used when the company uses different types of raw material. When the company is using one material, two materials, becomes very easy. But when the company is using different types of raw materials, then all these methods are to be used. Okay. So last one is ABC analysis. ABC analysis means the goods are classified into three different categories: category A, category B, category C. Category A means high in value, low in volume. High in value, low in volume. That is A category. Okay. C category means low in value, high in volume. Okay. A category means high value. High value. That means total raw material cost is 1 crore. Out of that, 70 lakhs is spent on one particular type of material. That obviously becomes A category. And the quantity is also less. 70 lakhs equal to one machinery. 70 lakhs equal to one machinery. So huge turbine, it costs around 70 lakhs, one machinery. So low in volume, high in value, A category. C category, nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts. Around 70,000 kgs of nuts and bolts are there, and the value is only 10 lakhs. Volume is huge, 70,000 kgs, and bags are not literally. 70,000 kgs of nuts and bolts. Useless are companies too. Value is only 10 lakhs. So compared to 70 lakhs, value is very, very less. C category. C category. Between A category and C category, you will have B category. It's neither A category nor C category. Okay. So last three are very, very easy. Inventory, turnover ratio, stores ledger or pricing issue methods or ABC analysis. All three are easy. We primarily focus on first two methods, economic order quantity and stock levels. In real life, stock levels play a very crucial role. Here the entire data will be given, just you need to apply the formulas to find out the value. But in real life, we have to define the data also. Which data basing on which data we need to calculate stock levels, different stock levels. Let us start with EOQ first, okay? So I have already explained what is EOQ. So before going any further, let me explain you the system. Let me explain the system. Who will decide what kind of raw material is required? Who will place an order? Who will receive an order? Generally, different parties play different roles, Nana. So that is clearly explained in CA material with the help of a flow chart or a diagram. Okay, so let us go through that. It will take only 3 or 5 minutes, Nana. Then after we can go through the theory part. I hope you can see the flow chart, okay? Right? Do people know what is meant by bill of material? Anyone has idea regarding bill of material? Bill of material means in order to produce any kind of product, what are the different types of raw materials or materials that are required? A list will be given where the item and quantity will be clearly mentioned. For example, for construction of a building, the architect will define, basing on the design and everything, the architect will mention how much amount of steel is to be used, which grade also. All the technical information will be there, not the financial information, all the technical information. Cement, which type of cement, sand, which type of sand, what should be the ratio of usage. Okay. Everything will be, all the technical details will be mentioned in bill of material. In the same way, in the company also, engineering and planning department will define bill of material. Engineering or planning department, they are the one who will decide what kind of material is to be used, everything, and they will forward the same to production department. They will forward the same to production. It means the engineering department will decide what kind of material is to be used in what quantity, etc. And they will forward all these details to production department, because the idea is of engineering department, but it should be implemented by production department. Production department, what they will do, they will forward this information to stores department in the form of material requisition. So bill of material is forwarded from engineering department to production department. Production department, after looking at bill of material, they will raise material requisition. Material requisition means request for material. Request material, that will be forwarded to stores department. Now stores department, if they have material, they will send it to production department against material requisition. Store department have material, they will send it to production department. If they don't have material, they have to forward the information to purchase department through purchase requisition. That means the stores department has to send a request to purchase department to purchase so and so material because that material is not available in the stores. Am I clear? So one department is deciding which material is to be used. Engineering or planning department can also be called as production planning department, where the production manager and his team will decide how to produce this product, what kind of raw material is to be used. Generally in big companies it's called as design department or drawing department. Design department or drawing department. Here they are simply calling it as engineering department. Once the purchase department receives purchase requisition, the purchase department will start its procedure. What is that procedure? It will issue purchase order. Before that, it will call for tenders. It will call for tenders. That means it will send request to 6 different parties to send quotations. Okay, so tender or request for proposal that will be forwarded to who nana suppliers, different suppliers. From suppliers, we will receive quotations. Out of these quotations, L1 will be chosen. L1 means highest or lowest? Lowest. The party which has quoted lowest, that party will be chosen, and to that party we will issue purchase order. To carry out all these activities, the purchase department will incur cost, right? Are you able to follow? To float a tender, to receive quotations and go through all the quotations, choose one particular supplier, negotiate with him, come to terms and conditions, then place a purchase order on that supplier. To perform all these activities, the purchase department will incur cost. That cost is called as ordering cost. That cost is called as purchase department is incurring the cost to place an order. So whatever the cost it is incurred by purchase department is called as ordering cost. I hope you got it now. అర్థమైందా లేదా నన్ను ఆర్డరింగ్ కాస్ట్ అంటే? సో వన్స్ ద పర్చేజ్ ఆర్డర్ ఇస్ సెండ్ టు ది సప్లయర్, supplier will not send the material to purchase department. It will send the material to stores department. Purchase department has placed, see, one department has placed an order, other department is receiving the material. So once the order is placed, the supplier will send goods delivery with challan or with invoice to whom, Nana? Stores department. Now stores department, what it will do? It will accept the material. If some material is damaged, it will be returned to supplier through with the help of material return note. Material return note. So because movement of goods should always be accompanied by a document. Each document has its own significance. Okay. Now stores department, once they have received material and accepted that material, they will send a document to cost accounting department to record everything. Either acceptance or return, whatever it may be. Okay, goods received note or material return note. Because stores department only maintains information regarding quantity. It will not maintain financial information. Whereas cost account department will maintain both quantity as well as value. So whatever the documents that is received by stores department is to be shared by stores department to cost accounting department now. And basing on that only, the cost accounting department will forward the information to finance department. Finance department will make payment to suppliers. So it's a process from stores information to cost accounting department, from cost accounting department to finance department. So this is the entire process. So you can clearly see that stores department is only responsible for accepting material and issue of material. It is not responsible for placing an order. Who is responsible for placing an order? Purchase department. Purchase department. Okay. And who decides what quantity of material is to be used? Engineering or planning department. Factory is only concerned about converting raw material into finished goods. How much quantity of raw material is to be purchased? What type of raw material is to be purchased? All those things will be decided by engineering and planning department, and that will be clearly mentioned in bill of material. Bill of material ante మన ఫంక్షన్స్ చేసే ముందు, ఎస్పెషల్లీ మ్యారేజ్ ఫంక్షన్స్ వస్తే చీటీ వేసాడు అక్కడ, పెద్ద చీటీ. దానిలో అమౌంట్ ఉండదు. కొత్తిమీర కట్ట 10, పుదీనా కట్ట 2, రైస్ బ్యాగ్స్ 20, డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ ది గెస్ట్. That is called as bill of material. Okay, that will be forwarded to my father because he is the one who is the chief financer. He will ask me to get all the details. I will get all the details. Then I will forward the same to my to purchase department, nothing but my father. Now, father may purchase on his own or he may delegate that work to some other people also. In the same way, it will happen in industry also, Nana. You can find all these things in all the big companies. Okay. Now, coming back to EOQ. Coming back to EOQ. So, EOQ means economic order quantity. What is the objective of EOQ? To minimize additional cost, not ordering cost. To minimize additional cost. What do you mean by additional cost? The name itself suggests cost in addition to raw material purchase cost. Additional cost ante cost in addition to raw material purchase cost. That is called as additional cost. Now here additional cost means a summation of two things. One is ordering cost and the one is carrying cost. What do you mean by ordering cost? What do you mean by ordering cost? Ordering, Nana, the name itself suggests cost incurred for placing an order is called as ordering cost. So whatever the cost that is incurred at the time of procurement of raw material is called as ordering cost. Best example for that one is carriage inwards. It is incurred at the time of purchase of raw material. What do you mean by carrying cost? Which one is incurred at the time of purchase? Which one is incurred at the time of purchase? Ordering cost. Which one is incurred after purchase? Carrying cost. So the objective is to make sure that the summation of these two is minimum. Okay. Now there are two different ways. Basically it can be explained in three different ways. But for calculating economic order quantity, there are two ways. One is a trial and error method, another one is formula based method. There are two ways of calculating economic order quantity. One is trial and error method and the one is, so when it comes to economic order quantity, economic order quantity, it can be calculated in two ways. One is trial and error method and second one is formula based method. One is trial and error method and the one is formula based method. Okay, let me explain trial and error method first. So I will take an example. With that example, I will explain both the methods. Okay, so what sort of information will be given in the problem? What sort of information that is given in the problem? Okay, that basing on that information, you can use either trial and error method or formula based method. So first one, basically I'm talking about toy manufacturing company. So this company manufactures toys. Product is toys. Okay. Now raw material required is molds. You need molds. Generally toy companies, what they do is that they use molds and they will pour plastic or something in that mold and you will get the required design. Okay, right. So required raw material is mold. Nana. Daily usage of raw material or molds is equal to 150 numbers. Daily usage of raw material or molds equal to 150 numbers. Number of days in a year. Let us take it as 360 days. Number of days in a year equal to 360 days. Annual usage of raw material is equal to 150 into 360. How much? 54,000 molds. Okay. 150 into 360, how much? 54,000 molds. This is what annual usage. This much quantity of molds are required annually. Okay. If there is no opening stock of raw material and closing stock of raw material, we can conclude that usage is equal to purchases. Earlier, what used to do, if there is no, in cost sheet, if there is no opening stock of raw material and closing stock of raw material, we can conclude that purchase is equal to consumed. Here, usage or consumed means one and the same, right? Usage or consumed means one and the same. There is no difference between the none. Note. Opening stock and closing stock of raw material is equal to 0. Therefore, annual purchase of raw material is equal to 54,000 molds. Instead of calling annual purchase, we can call it as demand also. Annual demand of raw material. Okay. Since we are talking about in what quantity raw material is to be purchased, EOQ is concerned about in what quantity raw material is to be purchased. That's why we give importance to annual purchase of raw material rather than annual usage of raw material. We may use any quantity, but EOQ is not about how much quantity we have to use. It is about how much quantity of raw material we have to purchase. So our focus will be on annual purchases or annual usage. Annual purchases. So this will be called as A. Annual demand of raw material is generally represented with letter A. Okay. Am I clear, Nana? Next. Unit price of raw material. Time ayipinda? Okay. Tomorrow I will continue, Nana. Once I have explained this, then we will do some problems. Okay. It will take around 15 or 20 minutes. Then we can start doing the problems. Discussing new chapter, that is material cost control. So the objective of this chapter is to control material cost. So there are certain techniques that we use to control material cost. Now these techniques are meant for separate purposes. That is, EOQ is meant to minimize additional cost. Stock levels are meant to define what is a maximum level, minimum level and reorder level. Okay. Third one is inventory turnover ratio, the speed at which we are consuming the raw material, to know the speed at which we are consuming the raw material. Fourth one is pricing issue methods. That means at what price stock is issued for production. Okay. And the last one is ABC analysis, where the goods will be, where the raw material is classified into 3 different categories, A, B and C. So first 2 are important, that is EOQ and stock levels are important. If you are able to complete these 2, then we will be able to complete 80% of the chapter. So in the last class, I have started EOQ. So EOQ stands for economic order quantity. That means how can we minimize the order, how can we minimize the cost of order quantity? In order to produce goods, the companies need to order material. Now the question is, in what size, in what quantity the material is to be ordered? If you order the entire requirement for the year at a time, then also you will incur some extra cost. If you order each week, then also you will incur extra cost. So the objective is to make sure that whatever the additional cost, extra cost that we will incur while purchase of raw material is to be minimized. You can't avoid it. You will incur it. But it does not mean that you should not focus on it. We should focus on it and we should make sure that the cost is minimum. So with the help of this technique, we will come to know what quantity of raw material is to be purchased so as to minimize additional cost. Now, what do you mean by additional cost? It's summation of ordering cost and carrying cost. Along with purchase cost, you will incur these two costs. I am not at all concerned about purchase cost, assuming that purchase cost of raw material is same throughout the market. In the last class, I have taken the example of DMart. Whether you go to DMart A or DMart B in the same city, the prices will be one and the same. So I should not be worried about the purchase price of material. I should be worried about the additional cost that I will incur apart from purchase price of material. This additional cost can be divided into two. One is ordering cost and the one is carrying cost. What do you mean by ordering cost? Cost incurred at the time of purchase of raw material is called as ordering cost. Or cost incurred at the time of placing an order for raw material is called as ordering cost. Example for ordering cost or ordering cost includes, these are the items. Cost of placing an order. Generally, orders are placed by purchase department. Orders are placed by purchase department. In the last class, I have explained the flowchart also. Engineering department is the one which comes out with a list of material that is required to produce that product. Engineering department. Design department is the one which comes out, which explains all the list of material, the quantity of material that is required to produce that product. Okay, that is clearly mentioned in list called as bill of material. Bill of material, nothing but list of materials. In that list, everything will be all the different kinds of raw material that are required, in what quantity that are required will be clearly mentioned. That will be passed on to the production department, because production department is the one which needs to produce the product basing on that design. Now, production department will go to stores department to get the material. Basically, production department will issue material requisition note. Basically, it's a request letter asking stores department to issue so and so material. If material is available in the stores department will issue. If material is not available, then stores department will raise a purchase requisition to purchase department. Purchase requisition to purchase department. Now, purchase department upon purchase requisition means request to purchase, request for purchase. Now, basing on this request or purchase requisition note, the purchase department will go for tenders, get the quotations. After due negotiations, will place a purchase order. So why I have explained is that this entire chapter is related to stores department itself, but store department is not the one who takes up all the activities. Different departments take up different activities. So EOQ is related to purchase department. In what size, in what quantity the raw material is to be purchased. So purchase department along with cost accounting department have to decide how much quantity of raw material is to be purchased, so that additional cost is minimum. Am I clear? So when it comes to additional cost, there are two types of cost: ordering cost and carrying cost. So ordering cost means cost incurred at the time of purchase or before purchase. Okay, rather than mentioning before purchase, it is much better to mention it as at the time of purchase. At the time of purchase. Carrying cost is incurred after purchase. Carrying cost is incurred to maintain raw material. Whatever the raw material that you have purchased, in order to maintain that raw material, whatever the cost that we incur is called as carrying cost. Okay, so examples for ordering cost I have mentioned here. Best example for ordering cost is carriage inwards. The best example for ordering cost is carriage inward. That is the cost which is incurred at the time of purchase. Best example for carrying cost is storage cost. Once you purchase raw material, you will not use the raw material in the first day itself. You have to store it and you will use it gradually. So you will incur storage cost. That comes under carrying cost. So examples for carrying costs are three: storage cost, insurance cost. When you store raw material, you need to safeguard that raw material against certain risk, theft or fire accidents or anything. For that you will take insurance. That is also included in carrying cost. Now, cost of obsolescence or deterioration. When you store material, some material may get damaged because of natural elements or because of negligence on the part of management. Okay, that is called as cost of obsolescence. Next, interest. Generally, cost of obsolescence means if you don't use material over a period of time, it will get outdated or it will get damaged. You can't use it any longer. For example, there will be nuts and bolts, which are very, very small items. And as they are miscellaneous items, they are not stored properly. So because of oxidization process or because of environmental elements, what will happen? Rust will form. Rust to a certain extent is acceptable, but if they get rusted more, it's equal to scrap. So whatever the loss that you have incurred because of that is called as cost of obsolescence. That material has become outdated. We can't use it. So what we have to do? We have to purchase another lot of nuts and bolts now. Next, interest. Interest on capital. In order to purchase that raw material, you have borrowed money from the bank. Now that raw material is lying in the godown for 3 months. That means you will incur interest for 3 months. Okay. So these are the examples of carrying cost. Now, how to calculate EOQ? That is a point here. How to calculate EOQ? Economic order quantity. Basically, there are two ways of calculating it. One is trial and error method and the one is formula based method, and third one is graphical explanation. Third one is graphic, and we can prepare graph only when the entire data is available with us. Okay, so these are the two methods on which we will focus on. One is trial and error method and the one is formula based method. Now let us first start with trial and error method. Okay, right. So I have taken an example to prepare or to calculate EOQ under trial and error method. So I have taken toy manufacturing company. It manufactured toys. And generally, in order to manufacture toys, we need molds. We need molds. Okay, in that mold, hot plastic will be poured and we will get a specific design. Okay, and each mold has a life. So raw material required is mold. Daily usage of raw material is 150 numbers. Number of days in a year is 360. So annual usage of raw material is how much? 150 into 360? 54,000 molds. So in a year, we need 54,000 molds. Okay. Note, opening and closing stock of raw material is not given. Okay. Opening and closing stock of raw material is not given. See, so when opening and closing stock of raw material is not given, we can conclude that therefore usage, we can conclude that purchases equal to consumed. Purchases equal to consumed. That we have already learnt in cost sheet. When opening and closing stock of raw material are not given, then raw material purchased equal to raw material consumed. In EOQ, should I be considered about raw material consumed or raw material purchased? In EOQ, should I be concerned about raw material consumed or raw material purchased? Raw material purchased. So my focus will be on raw material purchase, not on raw material consumed, because I need to know in what quantity I have to purchase raw material. In what quantity I have to purchase raw material. So once annual usage of raw material is given, since opening and closing stock of raw material is not given, I will assume that annual usage is equal to annual purchases. Nothing but annual purchase of raw material will also be 54,000. This annual purchase can also be called as annual demand. And it is generally represented with letter A. Okay, that I have. Now when it comes to EOQ, I am concerned about two types of cost, two types of additional cost. One is ordering cost and the one is carrying cost. No. So let us see the ordering cost. What is ordering cost? Generally, ordering cost is always expressed per order. Ordering cost is always expressed per order. So, ordering cost per order is equal to 900 rupees. And it is represented with letter O. It is represented with letter O. Are ఏం జరుగుతుందో నా వైపు ఫోకస్ చేయండి. నేను డిస్టర్బ్ అవుతలేవు. చైర్ మారుస్తున్నారు అంతే. Okay. Ordering cost per order is 9,000 rupees now. That means for each order, You will incur 9,000 rupees. It does not matter how many units you are ordering in that order. It does not matter how many units you are ordering in that order. You may order 1 unit, you may order 10 units, you may order 100 units. But cost of placing an order is how much? 9,000 rupees. Next, that is represented with letter O. Next, carrying cost. That is the another cost, right? Carrying cost, it is always expressed as per unit per annum. Carrying cost per unit of raw material per annum. It is always expressed for per unit per annum. Let us take it as 300 rupees and is represented with the letter C. That means what, sir? In order to store one mold for a year, you will incur around 300 rupees. I have just taken storage as example of carrying cost. In order to store, in my example, mold is the raw material, right? In order to store one mold for the year, for the entire year, you will incur on average, you will incur 300 rupees. So this information is given to you. Basing on this information, now you need to calculate economic order quantity. Okay, so please note it down. After that, we will make a statement, and in that statement we will calculate economic order quantity. Okay, so I think you have noted down till this point, Nana, in that stress class. So continue from here on. So EOQ using trial and error method. Trial and error method means nothing but sampling. You will take different values, and wherever you get lowest economic order, lowest additional cost, at that level, whatever the quantity you have, it will be called as economic order quantity. Okay, right. So columns, Nana. So first one is annual demand of raw material, which is represented with capital letter A. Okay, and next one will be order size. Order size now. Next one will be number of orders. How you will calculate number of orders? It is nothing but A divided by order size. A divided by order size. Okay. Once you have calculated number of orders, then you will calculate total ordering cost. Total order cost. That is nothing but a number of orders into O. Number of orders into O. Ante kada? Total order cost means number of orders into O, because ordering cost is always expressed per order. Ordering cost is always expressed per order, Nana. Okay, so to calculate total ordering cost, we'll use the formula number of orders into O. Next, total carrying cost. Total carrying cost. The formula for that one is half of order size into C. Now, why we got that formula, I will explain to you. Okay, when we add these two, that is this one and this one, you will get additional cost, or can also be called as annual cost. Additional cost or annual cost. Okay. Right. So what is the annual demand of raw material? It is 54,000 units, right? 54,000 moles. Let us take the order size as 600 moles. That means you will be ordering 600 moles per order. For number of orders will be 54,000 divided by 600. How much? 90. 90 orders. Okay. Now total order cost. So for each order, what is the cost that you are incurring? 9,000. So altogether in a year, you are ordering 90 orders, right? So 90 into 9,000, 8 lakh 10,000. So from this, what you can understand is that total order cost will be for per annum and total carrying cost is also for per annum. Okay. Total ordering cost will be calculated for entire year and total carrying cost will also be calculated for entire year. Okay. So then additional cost will also be for entire year per annum. Now total carrying cost. What are the elements that are incurred in total carrying cost? What are the elements that are incurred in total carrying cost? Elements means examples that I have taken. Summation of dash cost is total carrying cost. Storage cost, insurance, cost of obsolescence, interest. Summation of these four costs is nothing but total carrying cost. These are the costs which are incurred for maintaining raw material. Now how to calculate it? Generally what students say is that since we are ordering 600 units, we have to apply this carrying cost per unit per annum to these 600 units. That means it should be 600 into 300. That is what they said. Please do not note it. I'm going to change it, okay? What students argue is that 600 units, we are ordering 600 units. That means we will be storing 600 units. So carrying cost will be incurred for 600 units. But there is one information that I have given in your question. I have given average consumption per day or daily usage of raw materials. It is nothing but average consumption of raw material per day. Both mean the same. Daily usage of raw material or average consumption of raw material per day, both mean the same. That means on first day you will be storing 600 moles. On second day you will be storing 450 moles. On third day you will be storing 300 moles. That means day by day number of moles keep on decreasing. When day by day number of moles keep on decreasing, then how can you apply carrying cost for 600 units for the entire year? I hope you are able to understand my argument. 600 units year మొత్తం ఉంటుందా అంటే into 300. Very good. But here the average consumption is how much? 150. That means you have ordered 600. You received 600. On day 1 you will have 600. On the day you have received you have 600. Next day you have only 450 because 150 is used. Thereafter you have only 300. That means again 150 is used. So you can't apply 300 rupees of carrying cost to the entire 600 units for the entire year. So this sentence plays a very important role in defining that formula. So what I meant to say here is that so order received, how much? 600 units. After first day 450 units available. Okay, please do not write nana, wait. Okay, after second day how many units available? 300 units available. After third day, 150 units available. After fourth day, 0 units available. Right? So we will take a simple average now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we add all these things, how much you will get? It is total is 1500, right? 600 plus 450, 1050. 1000 between 450, 1500. So simple average 1500 divided by 5. How much you will get? 300 units, right? Or 300 moles. I hope you are able to understand it now. So what we need to do is that we need to apply carrying cost per unit to these 300 units, because there is average consumption per day, or you can get the same value in another way also. Lowest plus highest divided by 2. Lowest plus highest divided by 2. 0 plus 600 divided by 2. Nothing but 300, right? So this 600 is nothing but order size. This 600 is nothing but order size. So ultimately what will be the formula? Half into order size. So you will get 300. To that 300 units you will multiply with carrying cost per unit per annum. Then you will get total carrying cost per annum. Am I clear? I hope you got the meaning of it now. The issue here is that if average consumption was not given, then this would have been correct. 600 into 300. But here there is average consumption. That means day by day your units, your raw material is decreasing. So what you have to do, basically you have to take an average of it. So altogether in 5 days time, the total will be 1500 divided by 5 equal to 300 units. The same calculation can also be done in this way. So if you understand this, nothing but 0 plus 600 nothing but order size. So it can, the same thing can be written as half into order size. So that is the reason why here the formula will be half into order size into C. Half into 600 into 300. How much it is? Amma? 90,000. Now the total, it will be 8 lakh, 9 lakhs. Huh? It will be 9 lakhs. Okay, na. So in trailer method, what we will do is that we will take different samples. So first I have taken 600. Next we will take 1200. Okay. So 1200. Next. So 54,000. 1200 is the order size. So 54,000 divided by 1200. How much? How much it is? Amma? 45 orders. So total ordering cost per annum will be 45 orders into 9,000. How much it is? 4 lakh 5,000. Okay. And here it will be half into 1200 into 300. How much it is? 1 lakh 80,000. So total will be 5 lakhs 85,000. 5 lakhs 85,000. Note it down, Nana. Note it down. This part you can do at the end of the table. Okay. First let us complete the table. I hope you understood why we are using that formula for carrying cost. Okay. So basically in simple language, we have to take the average. Since average consumption is given, we have to take the average. What is average? Lowest plus highest. Lowest will be 0. Highest will be 600. 0 plus 600 divided by 2. 600 is nothing but order size. So half into order size. Okay. If average consumption is not given in the problem, then straight away you can multiply the order size into carrying cost per unit per annum. Okay, you have to remember, if average consumption is not there in the problem, you will multiply order size with the carrying cost per unit per annum. There is no need to take average now. Okay, right. Next, 54,000 again. $54,000. This time it will be 1800. It is 1800. Okay, so 54,000 divided by 1800, how much it is? 30 orders, 30. So 30 into 9,000, how much it is? 2,70,000. Okay, and here it will be half into 1800 into 300. How much it is? 2,70,000. Total is nothing but 5,40,000. Last one. Again, 54,000 is the annual demand of raw material. This time we are thinking of ordering 2,000 units. 54,000 divided by 2,000. How much you got? 27 orders, right? So 27 into 9,000. 2,43,000. Next, half into 2,000 into 300. 3 lakhs, right? 3 lakhs. So it will be total will be 5,43,000. What is the objective of trial and error method? To find the size where additional cost is minimum. So you can clearly see here the additional cost is minimum at which order size? 1800. Is the only feature that you have observed, or you have observed any other feature there? Both the total ordering cost and total carrying cost are one and the same. That is one more feature. Depending on the sample, it may happen or it may not happen, Nana. But generally what we say is that at EOQ, okay, in trailer method, they may be same or they may not be same. But if you are using formula based, Nana, in that what we said at EOQ, additional cost is minimum and total ordering cost is equal to total carrying cost. Okay, at EOQ, total additional cost is minimum and total ordering cost is equal to total carrying cost. Nothing but total ordering cost equal to total carrying cost equal to half of additional cost. Half of additional cost. So these are the relationships that we will get from this table. Okay, and one more thing, try to identify the relationship between order size, total ordering cost and total carrying cost. What is the relationship between these three? Or what is the relationship of total ordering cost with order size and total carrying cost with order size? As the order size increases, ordering cost is increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. But carrying cost is? Have you observed that one? There's a logic behind it. Because when the order size increases, number of orders. When the order size increases, number of orders decreases. When the number of orders decreases, ordering cost will also decrease. Because order cost is dependent on number of orders. But when the order size increases, that means quantity is increasing. When the quantity is increasing, storage cost, that means carrying cost will increase. So here you can clearly see there is a inverse relationship between order size and ordering cost, and direct relationship between order size and carrying cost. And in this example, we were able to find out that 5,40,000 is the minimum additional cost. So whatever the order size we will have at that minimum additional cost is called as EOQ. And at EOQ, generally total ordering cost will be equal to total carrying cost. At EOQ, total ordering cost will be equal to total carrying cost. Okay. So have you noted it, this table, Nana? Have you noted this table? Please note this one also. It may be helpful for you. Average inventory per day ante ade nana 0 plus 600 divided by 2 or half into order size into C. Straight away మనం ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే average inventory per day. It is very difficult to calculate average inventory per day for each time in this manner, nana. That is the reason why we straight away use the formula half into order size into C. Okay, so conclusion. The order size at which additional cost is minimum, the order size at which additional cost is minimum is called as EOQ. Is called as EOQ. Second point, at EOQ TOC is equal to TCC. At EOQ TOC is equal to TCC. Third point, at EOQ TOC equal to TCC equal to half of additional cost. Half of additional cost. Fourth point, TOC is inversely related to order size, whereas TCC is directly related to order size. Okay. So basing on point number 4, we can draw the graph. Basing on point number 4, we can draw the graph now. So on x-axis, I will take order size. On y-axis, I will take additional cost. Additional cost means TOC and TCC. What is the relationship between TOC and order size? So it will be downward sloping one. It will be like this. TOC. And what is the relationship between TCC and order size? Direct. So it will be upward sloping one like this. TCC. The point where TOC is equal to TCC. At that point, whatever the output we have, or order size we have, that order size is called as EOQ. That order size is called as EOQ. And whatever the cost we get, that is called as minimum additional cost. Minimum additional cost. So in my example, the EOQ order size is 1800 units, right? And here at this point, TOC will be 2,70,000 and TCC will be 2,70,000. Okay. So graphical method also completed. Next, formula based method. Next, formula. EOQ using formula based method. Now don't ask me how we got that formula. If you are expert in mathematics, you can use maxima and minima technique to derive that formula. That was done by a student in my earlier class. He was quite interested in mathematics, so he said that by using maxima and minima concept, we can derive that formula. So formula here, EOQ is equal to root of 2 into A into O by C. With the help of this formula, we can calculate where A is equal to annual. A means what? Annual purchase or annual consumption or annual demand? Annual purchase or demand means one and the same. Annual demand of output, right? Output ante taluputa antra. There is difference between output and raw material. Okay. In the question also, we should be very, very careful. And sometimes he will give information related to output. We have to convert that output into raw material, and we have to use annual demand of raw material. Okay. O stands for ordering cost per order. C stands for carrying cost per order or per unit per annum? Per unit per annum. This plays a very important role. Carrying cost per unit per annum. Sometimes carrying cost per unit per annum will be directly expressed. Sometimes it will be expressed in percentage. So if percentage is given means we have to apply that percentage on unit price of raw material. Nothing but per unit means unit price of raw material. Then you will get carrying cost. Okay. Right, Nana. Under formula based method, we can use formula C. In this, we can use in order to calculate additional cost. What is the formula for additional cost? Total ordering cost plus total carrying cost. So how to calculate total ordering cost? Number of orders into O. And how to calculate total carrying cost? Half into order size into C. Okay. But here instead of using that formula at EOQ, see at EOQ, additional cost, we can use the above formula. Or we can use root of 2 into A into O into C. Only at EOQ. That's why I have mentioned it. At EOQ, additional cost formula, you can use this one. Or else you can use the traditional formula. TOC plus TCC, nothing but TOC is number of orders into O. TCC means nothing but half into order size into C. You can use the traditional formula. There is one more way of calculating additional cost at EOQ. So you can apply this formula only at EOQ. Okay. Right. Okay, Nana. Next, last point. See, additional cost can be called with different names. It can be called as annual cost, or it can be called as variable cost of order size. Variable cost of order size. Or it can also be called as associated cost of order size, because these costs change with order size, right? That's why they are called as variable cost of order size. Or you can also use the term associated cost. Associated cost of order size. So you can call it with different names, Nana. Three are sufficient: annual cost, additional cost, variable cost of order size. Associated means related cost. TOC and TCC both are related to order size. Yes, they may not be directly related, or one is directly related and the one is inversely, but both are related to order size. So at EOQ, additional cost formula is root of 2 into A into O into C. Okay, Nana. Next. Time gap or time interval between two orders. Sometimes he will ask us to calculate the time gap or time interval between two orders. That means the frequency of order. Okay. So how to calculate it? Formula is number of days in a year divided by number of orders in a year. Number of orders in a year. Number of days in a year divided by number of orders in a year. Now how will you get number of orders in a year? There is nothing but a number of days in a year divided by A by EOQ. A by EOQ. Okay. There is no need to by heart anything, Nana. For example, in the example that I have taken, 1800 is the EOQ size, right? So if you are ordering in 1800 size, how many orders we need to place? We already calculated it in the table. Number of orders at 1800 order size, how many? 30. So in 360 days, for 360 days, you have to place 30 orders. So for one order, how many days? For 360 days, it is 30 orders, right? So for one order, how many days? It is nothing but 360 into 1 divided by 30. Number of days in a year divided by number of orders in a year. So basing on that logic, we have come up with that formula. So please go to the content once, Nana. We can start doing the problems. Okay, Mr. Bhatt, are you able to follow? Any doubts? Right. Time gap or time interval. Number of days in a year will be given in the question. If nothing is mentioned, you will take it as 365 days. But in majority of the cases, it will be clearly mentioned in the problem. Okay, so please go to the example and the formulas once, then we can start doing the problems one by one. Okay, right. In trailer method, see at EOQ, TOC will, under formula based method, at EOQ, TOC equal to TCC. But under trailer method, there is no guarantee that even though additional cost is minimum, TOC should be equal to TCC. That TOC equal to TCC depends on the sample that you have taken. Here I have taken 1800. That's why I got that. If you take 1700, it will not be equal. So it may be equal or it may not be equal. Once again, I am repeating. In trailer error method, whether TOC will be equal to TCC at EOQ depends on the sample that I have taken. In my example, it is 1800. It has become equal. Both are equal to one another. If I take 1750, it will not be equal. If I take 1850, then also it will not be equal. But still, it will be minimum. Additional cost will be minimum. Okay, under formula based method, it will be equal because formula is scientific. Trailer depends on samples. You may take 1800, some other girl may take 1850, right? So it may change. That is the issue. See, in the entire example, what I have taken assumption is that price of raw material will remain constant. That's why we are not taking price of raw material into decision making. But if price of raw material changes, then you have to take price of raw material also into decision making. In my example, what I have said, price of material in both the demarts will be one and the same. That's why we are completely ignoring it. It does not matter whether you buy in A or B. The only cost that changes is additional cost. But if price of material is also changing, then also you have to take the price of raw material also into consideration. Nana. That is called as total annual inventory cost. Total annual cost means this one, right? TOC plus TCC. If you are taking raw material purchase cost also into consideration, that is called as total annual inventory cost. So total annual inventory cost will be TOC plus TCC plus raw material purchase cost. Total raw material purchase cost. That is the formula. We have one problem, only one problem, where raw material purchase price will also change. In such a case, the change in price should also be taken into consideration. So total annual inventory cost is equal to TOC plus TCC plus total raw material purchase cost. Total raw material purchase cost. So this formula, the above when raw material purchase price changes. When raw material purchase price changes. Now, the above formula is applicable when raw material purchase price changes. Let us start CRD1, Nana. Once we do couple of problems, then we'll get some sort of clarity. You have class till 10:45, right? Right. CRD1. Doubt? But first you people will consult, then you will ask me. Is that the case? In doubt enti? The frequency ni pilustam manu. For how many days you are placing an order? Nothing but when you are discussing in terms of days, nothing but frequency. The frequency for every 30 days. In this example, it is how many days? For every 12 days. For every 12 days. So it will be 12 days, right? So for every 12 days, you will place an order. So time interval, time gap or frequency all mean the same. Okay, right. Teju.
The complete gardener is deciding on the economic order quantity for 2 brands of lawn fertilizers, Super Grow and Natural's Own.
Right, Nature's Own, right. So fertilizer is the raw material. Fertilizer is the raw material. So he needs to decide in how much quantity I have to place an order. Here he is using two types of fertilizers. One is Super Grow and the one is Nature's Own. Next, Nana.
The following information is collected. Particulars. Annual usage.
Okay, 2000 bags, 1280 bags. And if you look at the problem, there is no information about the opening and closing, Nana. So this annual usage becomes annual demand, nothing but A, right? Annual usage is equal to annual demand, nothing but capital A. Next, Nana.
Relevant ordering cost per purchase order.
It is nothing but O. Next, Nana.
Annual relevant carrying cost per bag.
Per bag. Annual relevant carrying cost per bag. Generally, what we say is that carrying cost per unit per annum. So here unit is nothing but bag, because raw material is to be purchased in bags. Okay, so it is C. So A, O, C are given. Next, Nana.
Required. Compute EOQ for Super Grow and Nature's Own.
Start, Nana. You can do it separately or you can do it in a table form also. Particulars, Super Grow, Nature's Own. Okay, so I will also do it in the tabular form. It's up to you. If you are comfortable with the tabular form, do it in the tabular form. If you want to do it separately, then also it's no deal, Nana. Not a big deal. So particulars, Super Grow and Nature's Own. Nature's Own. Right? So first requirement is EOQ, right? EOQ. I will write down the formula here. That is root of 2 into A into O by C. So I will straight away substitute the values here. Okay. So that is root of 2 into A, how much, Nana? 2000 bags, into O, how much? 1200 divided by 480. So how much you got? 100 rupees, Adi. After doing all the hard work, you people will simply mention rupees here, or you will simply mention like this. You will lose all the marks. You will lose all the marks. EOQ is always expressed in quantity. The name itself suggests economic order quantity. Next, Nana, here the formula is root of 2 into A, how much for Nature's Own? 1280 into 1200, 1400. Oh, values are changing. Divided by 560. How much you got? 80 bags. So first one is completed. Okay. Next, Nana, second requirement.
For the EOQ, what is the sum of total annual relevant ordering cost and total annual relevant carrying cost for Super Grow and Nature's Own?
That means what? He is asking to calculate at EOQ additional cost, right? Annual relevant ordering cost and annual relevant carrying cost means he is asking us to calculate total ordering cost plus total nothing but additional cost. So we know a formula. B. At EOQ, total additional cost is equal to root of 2 into A into O into C. Total additional cost is equal to root of 2 into A into O into C. If you remember, you can use that formula, or else you can use the traditional formula. TOC plus TCC, nothing but number of orders into O, half into order size into C. You can use that formula also. You will get the same answer. Okay. No, sir, I want to use this formula for Super Grow and I want to use traditional formula for Nature's Own. That also it's up to you. Okay. Right. So TOC plus TC, how much it is, Nane? This one? Sorry. Root of 2 into 2000 into 1200 into 480. How much you got? Amma? 48,000 rupees. And this one will be root of 2 into 1280 into 1400 into 560. How much? 44,800 rupees. Good. B completed. Next C. What is the C requirement?
For the EOQ, complete number of deliveries per year for Super Grow and Nature Zone.
Number of deliveries means orders. Number of deliveries means orders, Nana. So for EOQ, number of deliveries per year. Okay, right. So C. At EOQ, number of orders equal to A by EOQ, right? So 2000 by EOQ, how much? 100, huh? It is 20 orders. And this side it is 1280 divided by 80, huh? How many orders? 16 orders. Problem number 1 completed. Okay.